So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with driving the Hyundai Verna, and I've been driving it now 3 days. I even did a little out-of-town road trip to Coorg from Bangalore, and I am going to be talking about the entire experience with driving this car. I'll be writing about it in detail on my blog, and you can check that link out. I'll post that right here. But right now what I want to talk about are just a few salient features that stood out for me and a couple of points I wanted to address specifically from a woman driver's perspective, because I feel like that is a gap that most car makers are still not really addressing. So here we go. Now unfortunately, this is one of the things I really don't like about the car. Yeah. Every time you unlock or lock it, it's a really loud honking sound, and I kind of miss that lovely little chirping sound that other cars have, because I really don't want to be unlocking my car or locking it for that matter at night and hearing. So first up, let me get the nitty-gritties out of the way. This is, like I mentioned earlier, this is the automatic 1.6 liter engine, and I've been driving the diesel variant. Now I chose the automatic because I just find it's a lot more convenient to drive. Nothing against a manual car. In fact, I mean, anyone who loves driving will always swear by a manual version, but I just think that in today's day and age, especially with traffic being as horrible as it is, why not just have one less thing to worry about while you're driving and trying to stay safe and get from point A to point B. Personally, yes, I have of course grown up driving manual cars, and I agree there's a certain almost badassery feeling when you're driving a manual and you're going like changing gears and everything. It definitely does make you feel a bit like a Fast and Furious character. But all of that said, I definitely have been leaning more and more towards automatic cars because, well, like I said, there is nothing wrong with just wanting to make your life a little bit easier, even if that is while we're driving in already horrendous traffic in Bangalore. Now, talking about the car in terms of performance, it's a very solid and sturdy car. I think it has handled extremely well while driving on the highway, managed to hit speeds of like 120, close to 140 even, and it felt very stable. It felt steady even when we were managing slight curves in the road while taking hilly roads closer to Coorg and Madikeri. So the handling is definitely solid, definitely comfortable to drive. In terms of mileage now, what Hyundai advertises as the mileage of this particular model is somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, in the 21 kilometers per liter range, which is exceptional. But what I've noticed, at least from personal experience during our road trip over the weekend, is we clocked about, I'd say, about a 16 kilometer per liter mileage, which is not half bad, I must say. And remember, I mentioned this is the diesel variant automatic. Of course, mileage will vary depending on which variant you're exploring, but this is the number that I got with this car. Now, talking a little more about what the Verna will offer for a woman driver. For starters, I asked a lot of my friends who are women and who drive and who enjoy driving what sort of gaps they feel exist in the cars that they drive nowadays. And one of the biggest points that was highlighted was the seat adjustment. Now, this is something I've struggled with as well. Like you're all the way up here and you're almost hitting the steering wheel. Now, the recommended seat positioning and seat posture indicates that you should have about a hand's width distance between your head and the roof of the car when you're seated. As you can see, I'm currently really far off from that. So I'm going to increase the height of this seat right now. Up. And now I'm at max. This is as high as it goes. And as you can see, I'm still a way off. Now this is a cause of concern because, as I mentioned, I'm not a particularly short woman myself. As far as Indian women go, I am at 5'5" I am on the definitely above average end of the height scale. So for women more petite than I am, this would actually be a struggle because you can't get into the right position. But thankfully, the Verna does have an adjustable steering wheel, but it only allows for up and down adjustment, which is a little limiting. All the adjustment has to be in terms of distance from the steering wheel. All my adjustment is restricted to my seat. Now the Verna has a touch screen display in the center of the console. Now this allows you to control, you can set up navigation to your destination, you can take care of your music, your phone connection, your Bluetooth, everything, all of that. It's a very smooth interface. The touchscreen behaves really well. You can set up your phone, your audio, everything pretty much through this. And that's the air conditioning control. The air conditioning is pretty solid. It's very efficient even in the blazing heat of Bangalore right now. But for whatever reason, the temperature display is in Fahrenheit and I cannot figure out how to change it to centigrade or if that's even an option. It also has a little compartment where you can set your cell phone down. It's just a little shelf. It's got a rubber mat at the base to minimize sliding about. It also does have USB charging points and a point for an aux cable, so you can plug in your USB charger there. You have USB connectivity for your music, you have an aux cable, and that's your cigarette lighter version power output. I would have liked if this compartment or if the shelf that they had for the phone and your change had a bit of a covering or a drawer sort of slider over it, because I'm forever afraid that, in case of a very serious bump or heaven forbid impact, that any objects that you keep on this shelf could potentially turn into projectiles and hurt somebody. Now this is what your center console looks like. You've got the compartment that I showed you, you've got the automatic transmission, and you've got two cup holders on this side right besides the parking brake. The one towards the rear is ever so slightly wider and a little bit deeper than the first one. About enough to hold the average size water bottle, Starbucks cup, what have you. And here you've got a little storage compartment right by your elbow. It also features an armrest which slides forward. Now, does it slide forward enough? I'm questioning that. I don't know if this is enough distance for most people, because for someone of my height, my elbow would be around here when resting and I'm rather close to the edge. So it would have been nice if they could have made this slide forward just a little bit more. But that's personal opinion, and also I understand that the parking brake gets in the way, so perhaps that's why they designed it to only slide forward this far. Now, just how large is the storage compartment? So as far as storage goes, which I know is a concern for pretty much every woman driver, and I'm guessing for most general drivers anyway, a makeup kit, maybe a really small, really basic one. Now this isn't a particularly large one. You can see how big this is. It's just about the size of my hand, really, but this is not deep enough to hold a basic makeup kit. Also, this is not a cooled storage compartment, so you'll have to be careful. Putting makeup in there may not be a good idea either way. Sorry, ladies. Now, while on the subject of storage, this is the glove compartment. It's on the passenger side. It's moderately roomy, and bonus, it has a cooling vent, which is manually adjustable. I would question putting makeup in there if you're going to leave the car out in the sun. Now we're going to test out how roomy this is using the same makeup bag. And ta-da! It does close, comfortably so. So that's a win. And now let's try with the shoes. That seems to go in easily. and closes comfortably as well. So yay! Ladies, if you're looking to carry a spare pair of shoes or your makeup, this glove compartment can do the job. Now this is the center console and the rear seat. As you can see, there are air conditioning vents specifically for the back seat, which is really helpful for most passengers. You can control the airflow. The temperature is still controlled by the front console, which the driver or the passenger seat can take care of, but you can manage airflow and adjust that here. There is also a charging point here for the passengers in the rear seat, which I think is incredibly helpful. Now another stylish little feature this baby has is a sunroof. So yes, on a nice pretty day you can get a little more light into your car. Perfect for when you need a little light for those selfies you're trying to get, which I'm hoping you're getting while the car is stationary, by the way. Remember, Instagram is not worth an accident. Now you can slide back the sunshade manually if you just want to let some light in, but if you're looking for the full sunroof, almost convertible experience, you've got a handy little button here. One press and it slides all the way back. It's a really smooth mechanism, minimal sound, and it's done in a couple of seconds. So perfect for when you want a little bit more light or you want the wind in your hair. If you are, however, tempted to use it to make a whole bunch of Instagram videos of, I don't know, you standing up and waving out of the sunroof while speeding down the Bandraworli ceiling, may I please suggest don't. Remember, that's really dangerous. It's not worth it. Please, trust me, it's not worth it. Also, if like me, you're someone who prefers to drive with their sunglasses on, I do it to beat the glare, but you can do it just to look hella cool as well. But if you're someone who does enjoy wearing your sunglasses while you drive, I know it can be a pain when you pull over or you're stopping or it suddenly gets dark and you want to take them off, and then you're struggling to find, a place to put it, or you leave them on your head, or you try and fidget and get into your storage compartment at that point of time. But, well, they've got you covered. Nice handy little sunglasses case. And mind you, it's padded, so you don't need to worry about your glasses being scratched. And it rolls neatly into the ceiling. And it's a one-touch push and down they come. It's got that lovely little lip in the design so that your sunglasses don't accidentally fall out when you try to unload them. And it's a nice smooth move to tuck this away. So where were we? Now one little shortcoming, so to speak, in the new Verna is that the driver's side sunshade does not come with a mirror. So unfortunately you can't touch up your makeup while you're driving, but then that's probably a good thing. You shouldn't be. That said, I'm not quite sure why they cut that corner, but yes, I do agree that you should probably save your makeup touch-ups for when you're not driving. So there you go, guys. That was my first ever review of a car, something I've been wanting to do for years now, so I'm glad I could. And I'm so glad that you guys have been watching this and hopefully reading the blog article about it as well. If you were looking for tech specs of the vehicle, I have not covered those, mostly because I feel like there are just so many other great platforms and channels out there who are talking about the technical specifications of vehicles, where you can go to a Team BHP or you can read it on Top Gear or Autocar or any other platform. So what I want to bring to this review are my personal perspectives, both as a car lover and as a woman driver. Now the reason I highlight the term woman driver quite so much is because I feel like even in this day and age, it's 2018, and most car manufacturers still have not been addressing a lot of the base concerns that women drivers have. For instance, just your seat adjustment, the seat height, things like telescopic steering wheel adjustment. Those are things that I honestly kind of wished were mainstream now. I would wish that they were the norm rather than something that we have to shell out for an extremely expensive variant for. But in the meantime, I'm going to hope that my voice and these reviews can help more women drivers bring their concerns to car manufacturers, and maybe, who knows, we'll be able to have cars with the kind of features, both in terms of safety and design and just the driving experience, that we truly enjoy. I mean, don't you think it's about time that women drivers were allowed to truly enjoy the driving experience? I feel like so many of us miss out on it because of something as silly as we can't adjust the seat height, and so we have to be all squished up against the steering wheel like that. That's horrible. That's horrible. Please, come on, car manufacturers, this is something we need. We're making more decisions in terms of the cars to purchase, and I'm not even just talking about us being part of the decision-making process in the purchase of a family car. More and more women are buying their own cars. So come on, guys, step this up. Now, I'd like to sign off with a bit of a safety tip, if I may. Now, you know how most of us, when we're done driving and we're parked, and we reach out with our door side hand, give a cursory glance in maybe the rear view mirror, the side view, and then proceed to just open the door. Now, while there's nothing per se wrong, as long as you've taken a good enough glance, there's a very high chance that you're still going to cause an accident, because while you just glancing in your side view and rear view mirrors will inevitably still throw up a bit of a blind spot in terms of oncoming traffic. Now, what I would recommend, and this is something I read about online, apparently it is mandatory in the Netherlands, if I remember correctly. Now, instead of opening the door with your door side hand, use your opposing hand. So for Indians, that would be use your left hand to turn and open the door. What this does is it forces you to turn and look out of the window and actually directly look onto oncoming traffic. So this allows you to prevent an accident. It really increases your chances of not missing any oncoming traffic, because it eliminates that concept of a blind spot, because while you turn, you are automatically going to look over your shoulder and look back behind you, and you will see if there's an oncoming biker, cyclist, or even a pedestrian, because you really don't want to hit anybody with the door, right? So remember, turn and open. So alright then, guys, this is me signing off.